Brickmaniacs, welcome back to another episode of Brickmania TV. Brickmaniacs, today is a very special episode. Today I am joined by Andrew Summers,
yes,
Brickmania's newest builder. Welcome,
yes.
Andrew.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me,
Absolutely.
or as they call me, the FNG.
There we go, absolutely.
Yep. So, maybe won't tell you what that means because it's not good language for this.
Maybe tell us a little bit about yourself first.
So I am from Southern California, a little bit north of Los Angeles. Brickmania, they had an opening for a kit designer. I said, you know, not many people get to say they build with Lego for a living, so shot my resume at it, and well, here I am.
Right on, right on.
I've been building for most of my life. I'm 25 right now. I think 23 years of that has been building Lego. So figured I'd be I don't know, maybe a good addition to the team. Remains to be seen, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Well, so we have your first build here. What do we have?
Yes, this is an FV4201 Chieftain.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try a British accent because we'll get mauled in the comment section,
exactly.
I bet. So, yes, Cold War era tank.
Pull this up here.
It was built and designed in the 1960s, about the 60s there. It served from that time up until the end of the Cold War.
Yeah.
I think it was officially in British service till around 1996, replaced with the Challenger series of tanks. But it is the follow-up to the very successful Centurion tank. And the model here, it's in the Berlin Brigade Camouflage scheme.
That's a very interesting camo scheme you got going.
Yeah. A funny thing about the Camouflage scheme is that here I have it in dark bluish gray. Now, if you look up a lot of Berlin Brigade tanks, you'll see that people do it in like a very bluish, pastel sort of blue.
Yeah.
So that was one of the challenges right there, was figuring out, okay, is this the actual color? Because as we all know, military colors can be very specific, very exact, and I had to do a lot of research online to find out what color it was. And fortunately, I found a resource that said the color was a more dark bluish gray. Boom. Perfect.
Yeah, and Lego's always, it's always you're deciding which color of brick is the closest. It's never exact, but
yeah.
So
you just got to round off.
Right, exactly. And sometimes, I mean, I think the pictures that you were going over, a lot of the really clear pictures were maybe of reproduction models, or restored models, and that's probably like the most vibrant paint that, like that's like right out of the factory. How often would you really see a tank shiny like that in the field? So,
and a lot of it is the reference images. A lot of it is just people's personal models, like model kits, or tank day demonstration tanks. If you look back into photos taken during the 1980s, camera quality wasn't exactly the best, so it's kind of hard to tell exactly what the colors are, but just got to do that internet research, that digging.
So it was either go with dark bluish gray or like a vibrant. What's the next level up for Lego colors? You're debating using sand green?
Yes. Well, no, not sand green. Sand
blue.
Yeah, sand blue.
Yeah.
I was debating using that, but just the quantities for that are not quite there yet. And as it turns out, it's not exactly the spot-on color to begin with.
I mean, this looks awesome. It's that digital, the digital urban, I guess, kind of urban camo.
Yeah, they were playing around with blocky camouflage pattern.
So.
From what I've read, urban camouflage doesn't exactly work the best, which is why I guess we don't see too many of it on military vehicles. But this was the design they came up with, something very blocky, very rectangular.
Right.
And then in these colors, like a white, brown, dark grayish scheme. Cool.
Any other historical details you want to go over? Or stuff that you thought was interesting? Or?
Well, yeah, interesting on the model. Construction-wise, there were some things here that I was really racking my brain trying to come up with. Because the tank, it's not very flat. I don't want to say like there are certain tank designs where it's just you get the flat hull and then just a few like interesting angles here and there. The Chieftain is a very curvy tank. Right? It's a very curvy tank with a lot of rough surfaces. And as we all know, creating curves with square Lego pieces isn't exactly the easiest thing to do. So a big challenge was just interpreting the curved language of the actual tank and bringing it into the Lego design. So some of the interesting points on the tank here, the rear, these turret baskets, right? Difficult to come up with because Lego doesn't exactly have, very basket-like pieces. You know, a lot of Lego is just interpretation. You know, and that's what I was doing here. So I was using a lot of these grill tiles and some neck brackets to get the shapes and the baskets.
Because in real life, they're just like they're wire baskets, right?
Right, they're just wire baskets. So. And how do you really do that? I mean, maybe you could try using bars here and there, but this was just the best solution I found for it. Other neat stuff, the smoke launchers here. The mounting on the actual tank is very awkward.
Sure.
You know, and creating that in Lego, just racking my brain thinking, okay, what are some techniques I know of? And as you can see here, it's a knife through some binoculars.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool using just pieces. I mean, that Lego's not necessarily intending for that usage.
Right, right, and that's a technique
NPU,
I've had stored in my head for quite a while. Cool. I just never found a use for it. And then this came along, and I went,
awesome.
Oh,
there's a chance.
You know, there's a chance to bring that one out.
Cool.
So, on the actual model, the one that's for production in the box, there are several more stickers that come with it, several more printed parts.
Yeah, this is the prototype model right now. There's some more printing for 2 front tiles here and a tile up top, but there's some more.
Yeah, so you get a sticker here that has like a unit marking, ones that are on the fenders here, just Berlin Infantry Brigade unitary markings. Then there's a hatch on the top. On the ass end of the model. Can I say that?
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess I just did anyway. My bad. So you can see there's some stickering here as well as along here. Sticker right here, and where is it? The AS Easter eggs.
There we go.
Maybe you can
did it.
You can guess what those stand for, especially the AS. I don't know. Might be hard to figure out. Might
awesome system.
I like that. Awesome system. So, I don't know, where to go from here?
any other, what were some notable challenges? I mean, you talked about the baskets. Anything maybe with the hull, some interesting techniques or challenges that you came across?
Yeah, the hull, that's a good point. The hull was fairly difficult to come up with because, again, it's not just a flat top design. There's a lot of jagged edges, and on the actual model, there's a lot of storage boxes, a lot of lumps on it. So I had to come up with those. And the hull sort of uses a half studs up, half snot construction.
Sure.
So the front fenders here, these are snot construction. Then the rest is your standard studs up design. But even at that, on the actual tank, there's a little bit of I guess the word is taper. Like it's a curved taper on the top of the tank, on the hull of it. And I had to do some offsets for that. So in here, there's a bit of offsetting with some slopes, right?
Sure.
And that kind of gets the shape down. And on that note about shaping, another feature of the tank is the front here where the driver sits. On the actual vehicle, it's very curved, right? And how do you create that in Lego?
Right.
So that was another challenge coming up with just how to do the curvature for all that. And this is how I interpreted it. And a lot of Lego building is that. If you're building off of an actual model, just got to go with the best interpretation.
Sure.
You know, it's difficult to get things one-to-one, so you just kind of take a step back and say, okay, what looks the part?
Right.
And that's what I was doing a lot with that.
There we go. Very cool.
Some secrets, insights.
That's cool. That's cool. It's always interesting to hear kind of the behind the build here.
No, it is. It is definitely. I enjoy always hearing like what other designers have to say and getting their input and stuff. So
yeah,
it's a fun process.
I guess going back to this the camouflaged brick-built camouflage scheme, super awesome to see that. What were some of the challenges that you encountered with that brick-built camo?
The fact that it's not. There's really no pattern to it.
Right.
Yeah, because a lot of other tanks, they do have that pattern. You know, they have huge swatches of one color or another. This one is just kind of, we'll put a little brown there, a little gray over here, a little white over here. So it's very like a digital pattern, except, a bit blockier, a bit chunkier.
Cool.
And that was kind of difficult. I mean, my own personal vehicles that I build at home, they have camo swatches and everything. This, I sort of had to retrain my brain and say, okay, break it up a bit more, blotch it.
I think that's actually probably part of the reason why we assigned the Chieftain to you is
short end of the stick.
Well, maybe shorter than the stick. It was reminiscent of some of the builds, like your own personal builds that we had seen. So that would be a kind of a cool application. The model turned out awesome. Comes with a figure. We'll go over that right now. So this is just that Cold War era Chieftain tanker. And we started out with it's such a simple. It's a jumpsuit. It's pretty basic. It's a utility suit designed to get dirty, designed to, what's going on? Really, it's a simple figure. So I decided I want to play around a little bit with the coloring of it. So we started out with a Lego dark bluish gray. So that's the same color as that front fender, the minifig torso and legs. They started out that same color. And we're actually doing some color shifting to getting it closer to kind of that olive drab. We're still playing around with the different coloring. And of course, like every era has a little bit different version of that olive, what's olive drab, you know, khaki or whatever, you know, military, OD, whatever. Right. There's a million different olive drabs out there. So it's, you know, we're playing around with different colors, but it's kind of cool seeing getting closer to that perfect olive. That it's the quest to the perfect color.
And I do say you did a bang up job.
Thank you. Yeah. There's some fabric kind of details. Again, since this is such a simple figure, I decided to bust out a few more details that maybe I wouldn't always include on a figure. So there's some fabric shadows and folds going on. It's kind of just some subtle details. So, you know. It's a blank canvas, right? Thank you. Yeah, it's a blank canvas figure. So got to play around and do some different things. So I hope it goes well with this tank.
Oh yes, I think it does.
Awesome, cool. Any other closing thoughts, final notes you want to go over?
Well, I mean, since it is my first kid, I know I got family and friends who are very supportive and everything. So just wanted to give a little shout out. So shout out to, you know, mom, dad, friends, and my former work crew at store T0257.
Awesome.
They'll know what it means.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for your first build. Thank you for being here. When we hope to see a lot more awesome builds coming out.
There already is one in the works. Yes. Won't tell you what it is, but it's coming.
So this is Andrew Summers' latest model, the Chieftain, here at Brickmania. For more information, check out brickmania.com.
Do it.
Yes. Thank you for watching.
Do it.
Like, comment, subscribe, stuff like that.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Ding. Oh, I hit something. Yeah.